So we're doing it, aren't we?
It's done now.
It's done now.
QB.
And QB the dog is
So-
all ready.
Hello. Welcome to Dr. Lime Special. Today we're gonna talk about life and mostly about what I really want to talk about. It's like based on my motto as well. Only you can change you. I want to talk about changes in life, and if you see, most people want to change, or they feel they need to change, or they feel they get they're scared of a change, and that's a big question of humankind, and a big problem of humankind, the big changing. But I feel that it's misunderstood sometimes, because we can either change or upgrade, and that's still a change because you want to be better than the person you are today. And as you know me better than anyone, I had to change myself a lot compared with the person I was a few years back. And I have a question for you, and maybe if you have some questions for me, would be amazing. My question for you is, how have you managed not to change
Not to change.
and be
Fundamentally.
yes, and have this strong foundation that kept you sane and kept you on your path throughout your life without falling into temptations throughout your journey, from the buzzing, the parties, the substances like drugs or alcohol or cigarettes or bad behaviors or any of this party that people associate them with.
That's a very interesting question. I suppose I was never really a party girl to begin with. I think I always knew who I was and what I stood for. Like,
So
I
you
think I
never
had a
basically
very
associated this party
yes for
with,
me.
oh, I need to go out, I need
For
to do
who
this.
I want, for who I am, I always thought of myself as I don't know, I just feel like you don't really need to go out and party. I suppose, like to have a good time. And for me, it just never really been part of my life. I think I had lots of different. Yeah.
I'm only laughing, I'm
Yeah.
smiling because I know exactly what you mean now.
Yes.
But I also know that until a few years ago, all I knew was to party, and then when I had a massive change in my life, and that wasn't easy, and it took more than a day. The biggest question that most of my friends used to ask me, well, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't go out, how do you have fun anymore? What fun? But what fun means? And
What
that was
does
the big
fun
question.
mean?
Like,
Yeah.
probably even my family, even my friends, my closest friends, everybody was asking me, so how what do you do for fun now? If you don't go out, if you don't go restaurants, if you don't drink, if you don't party, if you don't like what do you do for fun?
I don't know, like for me,
This is one of
it
the
never
reasons.
really appealed, I suppose. Yeah, okay, well, so if I went out for dinner with friends or
Yeah.
had a party at home, as parties, like, for me, it would be more satisfying to cook a nice meal for my friends and invite people over, maybe play some games. And, just, I don't know, like maybe sing and, it's just, yeah, I never really associated, for example,
I never
alcohol
sang
with
karaoke,
fun.
actually. I never done it.
Yeah, I've never associated alcohol with fun. For me, it was just something that I think, my uncle was an alcoholic, so I did see the bad side of what alcohol can do to you. So I remember being very scared as a child. When I saw him drunk, and I realized how he changed, because one moment he would be sort of, this loving, fun person. He'll be joking around. The next well, in a couple of hours, he'd be shouting and throwing furniture around. So I
Like a
think that
different
for
person,
me,
like-
a completely different person. I think that was
Like a-
always,
It's like,
Yeah.
is this the drug that Hulk's
yeah,
feeds with
exactly.
in the real life?
Exactly, and I
And
think
control.
I've seen, I
In
saw a
control.
lot of maybe adults as well. You know, like my grandparents, for example, my grandfather, my step grandfather, but you know, I always thought about him as my real grandfather.
Yeah.
For example, he was a very intellectual person. He read a lot of sort of scientific magazines. He was an engineer, and I know that he had a bit of a sad backstory. A very serious guy.
Mhm.
But when my grandmother met him, she must have been around sort of, you know, 45, 50, at that sort of age that he was at the very bottom of his life. So
Okay.
he was drinking a lot, and you know, he was, as we say, kind of like lost his face a little bit. He lost
Was he
his
part of
path.
the war, or was he in fights, or was he
No,
part
he
of any
wasn't.
of this?
Not really. He was a little bit slightly younger, so he would have been maybe a teenager during the war. But I think what I don't know. He had the family. He had 4 kids, and because
Okay.
of the drink, he lost touch with his
Firstly with
kids.
himself,
Yes,
and
with
then
himself.
yeah, I know what you
And
mean.
his
Yeah.
wife, I mean, I think that was the reason why they divorced, because, you know, the drink was an issue. And when he met my grandmother, somehow he changed. So I think maybe he was ready to change. He was ready to give up the drink. But then sometimes, you know, he would go back to the drink. So again, that the one day you'll be seeing this sort of composed, very kind of strict, I would say,
Yeah.
person, and you know, very sort of reserved and very thoughtful. And then so you know, they would have people over and he would drink, and don't get me wrong, they still had, like, I remember my grandparents, for example, sitting around the table after a nice meal and singing songs, right?
Yeah.
But it's like if a little bit too much of a drink,
There's a
that's
little.
when there's this
there's a
fine
little
line,
bridge.
and then
Yeah.
he would sometimes
know.
go back to his old ways, and he would get really drunk. And I remember my grandmother panicking and just
Yeah.
worrying so much about it, and he would not be the same person anymore. And I think that's maybe always, you know, I always had this association with alcohol.
With this transformation.
It was this transformation, and I feel like
Yeah.
I always knew who I was, and I did not want to
Transform yourself.
transform
Be
myself.
someone
I
else.
did
Lose
not
control.
want to be seen in that sort of way. I did not want to present myself as somebody who I was not.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, in terms of why I did not reach for something maybe calming and soothing during the hardest periods of my life, because I did go through quite a dark period, as you know, not
Yeah.
quite so long ago. I actually remember we did have a bottle of, I think it was a vodka. I don't even remember, maybe Prosecco, in the house, which was bought for a party, which actually never happened. So I don't know why I never put it away. So it was quite in quite a visible place. And I remember feeling very down, very sad, and looking at the bottle, thinking, what if I drink now? What if will that sort of, you know, will that take away the pain? Will
Yeah,
that
that's how
make
many
me
people
forget?
associate it with. Yeah, I've done it as
Yeah.
well many times, and yes, that's how you see it. Sometimes you see it is the savior.
Yes.
It's a bottle of whiskey, a bottle of whatever vodka, a bottle of I'm not gonna say any brands or names or advertising,
Yeah.
but I totally understand. People find themselves there. Maybe one day we can talk about your dark period as well. And, and maybe we can share some of that as well with our listeners and with
I
with
think
everyone,
what really
because
got me through
there's
the
always a
dark
lesson.
times, and you know what got me through dark times, I think.
Was it QB? No.
QB was
Wasn't
part of it, and
QB,
you
the
know, I
dog.
did not know. QB probably wasn't.
I think
born
this
at
is
that
what
stage. Yeah,
This is what
exactly.
keeps you.
Exactly. I think that's
keeps
I
you-
found.
I know you
better.
didn't want to.
I
You didn't
found
want to
it
have this
better.
in the.
Yeah, but I think that kind of like represents of what we
A little bit of
stand
us,
for. A
like
little bit,
yeah, because there's rarely when a
It's
day
big
passes
part,
when
yeah, exactly.
when we don't train and we don't have an
we
activity.
have a few of those
And
lying around
yeah.
the house.
I remember it was like a few weeks ago when you came. We spent the weekend here by the seaside, by the channel, whatever. My father is very fond upon makes fun of me when I said to him about I'm by the seaside.
My mom calls it the ocean.
France. Yeah,
My mom
it's
calls
not far.
it the
And
ocean.
my father was like, "What sea? There's no sea there. That's the channel. It's just a river." Anyway, yeah, and I remember one day I was working, if I'm not wrong, and you finish work or you're on a break, and you took QB a bag, a couple of weights, and you just went for a workout somewhere on the beach, I believe, or somewhere around, and I found that was fascinating because we all have hard times, or we all have moments that it's easy to lose track. Or to lose ourselves, and then that's probably the best thing that can keep us sane and
and I
make
think
us.
once you discover the true medicine, so to say, for your negative energy, for your like this outlet. If you do have this negative energy, if you have negative emotions, if you have some anger inside of you, you know what will truly help. So yeah, for me, there's always been sort of, I started going to the gym. Actually came to fitness a little bit late in my life. I started.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
believe that all this, and don't get me wrong, I respect every religion, every kind of form of meditation or prayer, and I preach it, and I also do it myself. I like to pray in certain moments, certain ways. I always pray after something happened. That's the way my mom raised me. Like if I don't hit my finger, for example, I look up and I say thank you, or I say a prayer as I'm grateful for something happened to me.
Near misses.
And I do my meditations, and I like to spend time with myself in that peaceful mind. But I believe sometimes that people trying to use this day-to-day life and then have this unused energy, and they go, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to pray, and then nothing works. But I believe that nothing works is because they don't liberate the energy, they don't lift the weights, they don't put the work, they don't go for one, they don't go for they don't, I don't know, punch a wall, go for a run, go do some activity, cut a tree. I don't know.
Do you know what I think I realized is there is some sort of for me, workouts are a form of meditation as well.
Yeah.
I completely go
It's
to
a
my own
release
zone.
of- yeah.
If you saw me doing, for example, combat classes, I go completely into the zone. It's me against me. I am moving.
Yeah, that's how we have
I
this.
take control over my
active
body.
meditation. Yeah.
I take control over my body. I direct it in a certain way. I take control over my emotions. Yeah, there's also, I know like shadow boxing, body combat, whatever you want to call it. It's not true fighting, but still, you have to wait. You have to sort of work with the music. You have to wait for the right moment. You have to get the right rhythm, and sometimes you really have to control your body in lots of different ways. And sometimes you have to push your body, and you have to. Maybe you're feeling tired, and maybe you're feeling like, I'm not really, not feeling so amazing today. But once you start, you kind of overcome this, and you know you can do it. You push through, and you know that if you can physically push through those challenges, you do control your mind a little bit. Because I used to get very angry. I used to, I think I used to
That's
have
exactly
anger
what I
management.
wanted to say earlier. The only, and I think this is a massive lesson for everyone listening. We all have anger management. We all have anxiety. We all have this anger.
it's the build up, isn't it?
Of course,
it can
it's that
be-
energy.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to say is that I see couples fighting, I see people fighting, I see or arguing, not properly physically fighting, although it can end up to
of
there
course.
as well.
Yeah,
But-
unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it's all this energy, and I believe we had maybe once or twice, but not even arguments, but just that not being ourselves.
The moment of tension, maybe.
And a
isn't
little
it?
bit of
Yeah.
tension, just saying something, but we like, okay, live it. And then we always agree, well, always, it happened once or twice, to discuss after gym.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
do your thing,
Do your thing,
go
I'll do
punch
my
the wall,
thing,
do your combat, which
That's true. That's
it's your
true.
massive passion, your going into your combat, going to your zone, like you said, release that tension,
Release
come
that
out and
energy and
and you
think
come-
about what's really important. Get it out of your system. Get control over your mind. Get control over your body, and yeah, just let it go. Let it go, because a lot of the time, I think when people argue with each other, the true cause, it's not the person in front of them.
yeah, nothing
It's
to do with
something
that.
else
You're
that
right.
maybe, okay, I had a bad day.
Absolutely right.
Or I had a bad week, or people at work have been very demanding. My workload has been very difficult. So, and then who do you let all this anger out on? Like all this, like it kind of that tension builds up. Like, you cannot like tell people at work, oh, just buzz off, leave me alone. I mean, you probably technically could, but that's
See what I do at work
Yeah.
with my team. Every time I run a team in the last few years, I always do this. And I started with a big team I used to run in Waterloo, was a big team, close to 40 people. And for me at the time was something massive, because I was just coming into my management and leadership skills, and I start quitting my bad personal addiction. Start going into gym, I start getting into fitness, I start quitting cigarettes and many other things and so on that probably gonna talk about it at some point. And I realized that I wasn't angry anymore. Through meditation, to breathing, to many other forms and techniques that I discovered and I learned, and punching and tapping
That's
tapping
something
technique.
You have to find what
or-
works for you.
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
that zone where you
I
can
just
be
try many of them,
yourself, and where you
but
can be,
simply
yes.
breathing. And I was telling, like, okay, you don't have time to go for a fight or release that energy, like fight or a workout.
Yeah.
But I was telling them this: okay, you're not smoking, even if it's busy now, even if it's in a rush moment that we might need you. Take 10 minutes, even if you're not smoking. Surround the station. Come back in 10
Clear
minutes.
your head. Yeah, that's true. Because
That
sometimes it
person
builds
was a
up.
completely different
Yeah,
person
yeah,
coming back.
yeah.
Her eyes or his eyes
yeah.
were sparkling, were
We
like
all
or
need a time
simple.
out
Like,
sometimes. Yeah. And
Eh,
you have to find that place where
yeah.
you can take your time.
we were not
out.
even discussing about what
Yeah,
happened 10
yeah.
minutes ago. It was
Yeah,
like that was
because
gone.
that's gone, and then you release that tension. It's it had nothing to do, or whatever's happening between us is something that's probably happened at work, or somebody says something, or maybe we
Yeah.
heard something, and it kind of triggered us. It got us a little bit, got our feathers ruffled a little bit. But yeah, because we always sort of tend to let it out
Yeah.
at the people who are the closest to us, because we can get away with it probably at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point,
yeah.
but then in the long term that's quite
Coming
detrimental.
back and then detrimental, yeah.
Detrimental.
I got another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You've always been down to earth and, as I said, with strong foundation and fundamentals and home loving person.
Yeah.
And you have progressively been into this routine of working out and taking care of your mind and body to the best of your abilities and even treating yourself with certain things every now and then. Or I remember since I met you, you have your biscuits with coffees in the
Yes.
morning and some other treats that when you want to just have a whole bread in one day, you don't even think twice, you can have it. And now I can do the same sometimes. But my question is, which Sometimes I find it more challenging for girls, women, to find their best way, their best way to get in shape. And you do it for many years now. And as I said, you are a family person. Kid, cooking, ironing, work, everything, and which everyone has, or many people, many girls, many women have. How you manage to stay in shape, and not just to stay in shape, to go to the gym almost every single day.
Yes, what gives me motivation. I think it's, like I joined gyms previously.
And not
before.
just
It's
what
finding
gives you
something.
okay. First, what
Yeah.
gives you motivation, and then I want you to build it up to how can you manage to do it when you have all of these things that you need to take care of. You need to take care of us, of like as your partner. You have to take care of, I don't know, the dog sometimes when she was like on her period, and you have to wash, take care of her nappies, or like you have to take care of your daughter. You have to take care of the work. You have to cook. You have to iron. You have to wash. You have what, 3 floors, house that needs to be cleaning, needs to be washing, needs to be. I remember sometimes you get like a whole pile of ironing that, and how you manage throughout all of this to keep on track as well. But first, how did you find your motivation and kept on going?
I think it's finding something. First of all, it's finding something you like. It's actually giving yourself a chance to go out there and discover what it is.
So try more than one thing, and
yes,
be a bit more active.
Absolutely, and I
I
always
love
tell
that.
it to
I absolutely
everybody.
love that.
I think it's like, don't think, oh, my friend got into shape doing, I don't know, body pump,
Whatever,
or
yeah.
somebody, like a girl next door, she looks amazing, or she runs 15 miles a day. Don't feel like you have to be like somebody else. Just, you have to find something that motivates you, what brings you joy, what gives you a buzz. Even if you start with something like, I don't know,
Walking a bit extra.
just walking
or,
a little bit extra, or trying to do, I don't know, 1-2 push-ups, or try a new class. I always encourage people to try classes, because this is how I got into fitness. Because I actually went with a friend. That's actually another good tip. Go with somebody who you trust, who you feel comfortable
and he's
with.
slightly active and
and
motivated,
the person can just like, because the person that I went to, who took me to the gym this time, because I signed up previously, but that was like, I'm talking about 12 years ago. She said, look, Victoria, why don't you join the gym? I'm like, gym? Me? I'm not really a gym person. She's like, well, have you tried this class? Which class? Body combat. Let's go and give it a go. And I went with her, and I don't know what it was about the class. It was the motivating music. It was the all the girls, really sort of, being in the zone, really going for it. The music, the instructor's energy, that I found very intoxicating, maybe in a way. I was like, oh wow, I really like that. All the,
and he hooked you.
It got me hooked. Yeah, it's so.
But you had to find for that
I had
something
to find
a little bit.
Sometimes I would go and like I would run on the treadmill, and I was like, well, I'm not really feeling it. Okay, I will run a little bit, but then, what should I do? Should I watch the movies? Oh, it's
because I believe this is a
minutes.
massive thing, because many people think they want to.
Yes.
They want to, but they try once or twice, or certain, like you said, running a bit on the treadmill, or going for a walk, or doing like 2 push-ups, and without some guidance, they stop.
And I think it's also good to find some sort of routine, even at the beginning, even if you haven't figured out what exactly it is that works for you, what it is that you find is your thing. But make a schedule, for example, for the first few weeks, for example. Don't say, I have to do 5 press-ups or 10 push-ups. Like, if that's your thing, that's okay.
I found this with many clients when I'm trying to explain that we need to build a program. But I don't want to count. I don't want to. it's not gonna feel like that after
Yes.
2-3 months.
It's not. It's not.
Just
but
a
you have to
little
do
bit
this,
at the beginning to
yes.
understand what calories are, what proteins
Exactly.
are, what 10 push-ups are actually means to do it correctly, and to
Yes.
where can you stretch yourself. Yes,
I think the important thing, have a schedule. That
that's
is the most
extremely
and the
important. Yes,
schedule
I
where
love that.
you will
Absolutely love
not
that.
negotiate with yourself. That's another thing.
Massive.
If you're
That's
a person, we all
absolutely the
negotiate with
negotiating
ourselves.
with
We
yourself.
always find excuse. Okay, I'd rather watch. I actually have to cook now. Oh, I actually have to. I don't know. Like I have to be some. Oh, I'd rather see a friend. It's fine. Because that's another thing. You have to understand the different parts to you. For example, as a woman, you're not just a mother. You're not just a partner. You're not just a lover. You're not just a wife, or you're not just a worker
Or friend.
or a
yeah,
friend.
yeah.
You are all those different things, and there is a part of you that still wants to be that woman, and you want to be a strong woman, and you feel that sort of strength, being fit and healthy. That really helps you.
Yeah.
In terms of, and then you also have to. I know there's the you have the family, and you have things to do, and there are lots of valid reasons. Definitely, no one say they're not, but they surely, if you love your family and and your work,
You
that you
have
dedicate
to-
10 hours a day, for example, towards your work, or
Yes,
3
yeah.
hours on a Sunday on ironing. Surely you can spend like half an hour doing something just for yourself. It's just finding that, people say a lot about self-love, and I'm just,
This is what it actually means.
I think for me this is what it means. Like self-love is just, because I don't see it as a chore. I see it as a fun activity. And again, like with having, because I have my days when I think that I'm probably I'm not sure really want to go, but I always kind of have in mind what I want to do on certain days of the week. So I have the schedule. Okay, on Monday I'm doing pump and combat, for example. Tuesdays I'm doing maybe a hit class.
Yes, you register for the classes.
I register for the classes,
and then
actually.
it's
I
all
register for the
preset,
classes,
and then
yeah.
you got your
Yeah.
schedule.
And I think it's good, like for example, because I was lucky to come into this with some sort of knowledge, and I got really hooked on classes, and there were lots of circuit classes around which I tried, and so I kind of got a really good understanding. But I think like maybe if it means working out with a personal trainer like twice a week or once a week, make that effort.
Yeah.
Put it in your schedule. Put it at the time which is most suitable.
See,
There's not going to be perfect time.
this is where I come to agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I love personal trainers, don't get me wrong, but I love coaching people online now.
Yes, or a coach.
For one-
yes,
For
yes.
one reason only, because I had a personal trainer at the gym, and it's not like the friend you
Yeah.
said that guided you to the gym. So if you don't have that friend, pay someone to help you,
Yes.
because that friend
That's true.
will give you advice, will be there
Yes.
for you, will give you the meal routine or whatever. And this is what I do, or a coach does. Online
Yeah.
coach is gonna be there for you 24/7.
That's
Okay,
true.
he's not gonna answer now because he's busy with I don't know, being at work or having another job or driving or whatever. But he's there.
It's
It's not
there,
like
yeah.
he's not gonna give you an answer until the next meeting.
Exactly.
But most people, they get a personal trainer, and they're like contracted by through the gym.
Yes.
They cannot give certain information. They cannot give personal
That's
numbers
true.
and whatever. And then you train with them for like 2-3 hours a week, and that's it.
Yes.
You
And
cannot
then
ask
feel
them
like
any
you
questions.
lose motivation in between.
Yeah,
I
and
think
then you
sometimes
come back
you
from
get a
the
little pat
gym.
on the back. Somebody say, "Okay, I had my session, like coaching session, let's say
Yeah,
yesterday,
yeah.
and then 2 days on, like I actually went and tried something different. Like I don't know, I did 10 press ups
Yeah.
or 5 squats or whatever.
And they
you
cannot
actually-
give you a program
and
for
then you
like,
want
okay,
someone
do
to,
this.
like,
They
maybe
cannot
just
give
say,
you too
well
much.
done, you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
somebody who really understands your struggles, and somebody really understands
Mm-hmm.
what it is that you're facing and how difficult it is for you to get into this routine. So yeah, I think it's very important to have them. Well, yeah, because I did
Yeah.
have this friend.
And it's
And-
important that person to be there,
Exactly.
not just for
Yeah.
like, okay, do these 5 workouts and that's it.
Exactly. It's
To
just
be there to
'cause-
support you.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Because then I
Yeah.
believe after that
Yeah.
you start chatting
Yeah.
and you
yeah.
start having questions like
Exactly.
about probably healthy eating
Yeah.
or like certain little things.
I think like the best friends I made at work were actually the people who I met at the gym, because we're really
Connected on a
we're
different
really
level,
connected on a
and
different
yes.
level, and we kind of motivated each other. Like, okay, let's go try this class. Oh, have you tried this class? And I always, when I try something good, I really want to spread the word. I really want to tell people about, like,
I know what you
oh,
mean.
have you done this? Oh, have you seen this? And I don't know, like, oh, that instructor's got a great energy, or like that coach is amazing. Like, I feel it's important to spread the word as well.
Yeah.
And then really, it's share the
I love
energy,
that.
share the love, for fitness. So yeah, I mean, it's if you know something good, it's good to share. That's why I'm like all very passionate about it, and
I love that. Before I ask you the next question, as I said, the follow up from earlier with the discipline. I would love to say that I love what you just said, and I believe that not just after a certain age, all the time. The two of the things that money cannot buy are time and a healthy body. You can't buy it. You can't buy it. You can buy certain things or get a new liver or certain things that if you get to the point that you got sick, but having a fit look at her, like she does her 10,000 steps a day is average.
Lots
She
of
jumps with
resistance
me,
training.
resistance training, and she does all the steps with me on the
Even a lot more than us sometimes.
on the coast here, on the how you call it, the steps towards the beach, and then you have the fence as well that she jumps that fence 5-6 times a day, which is probably just over a meter high. That's like over 1 foot. Is that over a foot in English?
Probably 2 feet, maybe. I don't know,
2 feet.
like
I'm not
that,
sure. Yeah. 2 baby feet.
Not very good way.
So before we wrap this up, how do you find the time? The motivation, it comes as
you prioritize.
as you said.
You prioritize.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
So to recap for our people listening. So you must have a desire to change, to want something, to have that. You want something more. You know that you want something more, but you don't know how to get it. You know you want to be fitter. You want to be better. You want to go, I don't know, run after the bus or run after the kid, or like, because exercise is not just to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is the only person I'm going to mention, and I'm going to because everyone knows it. It's not just to have that bodybuilder body and mentality. Is to do the little things, to play with the dog, to go with the dog for I don't know, like we've been today 1.5 hour walk during lunch, and then we've been gym after, and in the morning we had walk, we had our morning routine, we had breakfast, and so on, and we cook, and we do our stretching, and we do a squat, and we do every little thing, do your shopping, take care of your, like, I don't know, nephews, kids, friends.
Yeah, and you have so much energy as well,
And you want to have that extra energy, but without having the ability to change and to push through that, how you mentioned, there's little obstacles that, okay, I try on the treadmill, it didn't catch me. Because some people will probably just go for a run. They go on the treadmill and they're like, you know what, that's all I want to do. I want to run 20 miles a day on the treadmill. And then I'm going to go on the beach or woods or forest. I just want to run. Whatever you want, whatever your call is. But just to power through. I love that. And now coming back to prioritizing and how do you find the time? Because like we mentioned earlier, you have an extremely busy life, like hopefully many people have, and successful and progressively constructive. How do you find time for gym?
Well, it's just, I feel like
years. You almost go 7 out of 7 sometimes.
7 days. I think I have to sort of tell myself to have a break. I think it's just part of my routine. It has become part of my routine. I just know how good
fulfills.
it feels. And you're addicted to that sort of, addicted in a good way to that buzz.
Yeah. Do you have this? Like sometimes I have, like you said, you don't negotiate and then you go, you power through. And I sometimes have like, oh, maybe I don't go. And then half an hour later, I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I was about to miss this workout. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm here. Let's go.
At home, like craving a pack of tortilla chips, and like maybe put something on telly and flick through the channels, and like, how amazing I'm here. I'm surrounded by these people who are like-minded. We are there. We choose to come here. Almost every day. I mean, obviously you get to meet people, and you're surrounded by these people who really, like, it's not always easy, and like everyone has their struggles, but they come. It's like our safe place. It's the place where it's just you against you, really. I mean, ultimately, like, if you worry about somebody judging you in the gym, like somebody looking at you and worrying about themselves, like we said today, people don't. Everyone just looks at things about themselves. They care about themselves.
They think about themselves.
They're very self-conscious, and then it's like when you make that mind and body connection, when you go into the zone, this is really it. This is
that's powerful. That's powerful because as I mentioned today at the gym with the instructors, and I tell this to everyone, no one gives a shit about you at the gym.
No.
With all due respect, no one gives a shit, and get that out of your head as soon as possible.
Yes.
Go at the gym, do whatever crazy fucked up moves you think you feel is like whatever necessary. Do your biceps curls, whatever, until you start getting some strength and momentum and so on, and then you're gonna get better at it. But just don't stop. No one gives a shit how you do it. Everybody's focused on themselves. Or how do I look in the mirror? Can I put some extra weight? Do I change the routine? Do I go to that machine? Do I do my move correctly? Am I on the music? You have all these things for yourself. You don't care about anyone else.
It's your time, and use it wisely. You are the most important person for your family, and for yourself as well. So if you don't get to do those little things, if you don't get to find this time, you will be happy. You will. It's tough. It's tough to power through the first few weeks, the first maybe few months, depending on your experience, on your sort of fitness levels. But once you start feeling that buzz, you want more and more of it, and you understand how good this makes you feel. And also, like, sometimes having that time away from the family, it's not, oh, I'm leaving my child.
I have
to be
I remember,
guilty.
like I said to you that day on the summer,
exactly.
Get the dog, jump in the car and go and drive on the coast because it's beautiful. Because I was working and it was nothing for you to do at home, and I'm like, why don't you? And you went and you came with a great buzz, and yes, that's amazing. You spend time with yourself.
It's not just investment in you. It's ultimately if you were a happier mother, partner, I don't know, worker, friend, it's it will translate into your relationships as well. You don't be afraid to sometimes say, I need this time. Because I think, especially as a mother, you always kind of feel guilty. Oh, I left my child. Should I go? Should I not? Oh, it's, like my child is almost 19. I still feel a little bit guilty about leaving her, say, for a couple of days, or sometimes, I'm just thinking. But then I know that, okay, if this is me time, and everybody knows it's me time, you kind of make that a rule, and people around you, trust me, they will see the transformation.
Respect that.
They will see the transformation in you. They will see how you will start looking better physically, but it's not just the physical benefits. I promise, the mental changes that you will experience, they will really be visible, and they will make people around you happier. Because they will make you happy, because you will become more confident. You'll become a and then you need to grow. You need to grow for yourself and for the people around you. I was actually listening to one of these shows on TV that
those people go and sing, and these people with the chairs,
like
they turn around.
shows,
Don't
yeah.
don't worry about the
Okay,
names, but like
yeah.
people turn around and then like, oh,
Yes.
I want you in my team. You have an amazing voice, whatever. And it was a song. I don't watch this shit. I just jump on my social media because I don't even have a TV. I gave it to charity, but I love to spend time on social media sometimes and find new things. And I found this, and he was saying in the song, it's a famous song. I don't know who sings it, but they're saying it's a famous song. I don't blame them. And he said, if you fall, please don't take me down with you. If you want to fall, if you stop taking care of yourself, if you start taking care of your mind, if you start taking care of your body, don't take me down with you. Don't put it on me, because if you can do something, do it. If you can't do it, okay, it's different. But if you can do something about it, you're gonna drag me down with you? I don't want to come down with you. And I believe it's very important to understand that if you go down, you're gonna try and take everyone down with you. And then if they don't believe in your oh, I have a little frustration, or I have anxiety, or I feel depressed, or I feel lazy. My mom had a saying. She used to tell me since I was a kid. The more you sit down, the more you would like to sit down. The more you would want to sit down. The more lazy you'll become. Same with being active.
Yes.
I remember I was telling to your daughter. Remember one day, because she was thinking to get into fitness, into Peloton, and like she now loves it. And I said, like, I remember I said, and I tell this to everyone actually, do it for a day, 2 days, 3 days, do 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 steps. Go on the bike and do it for 10 days repeatedly.
Yes, push yourself.
Not a lot.
A little bit.
Push yourself. And then on 11th day, you'll be like, I need to do something.
I need to do it. And that's what happened to my daughter, actually.
And then she got hooked. And also, she's not into any addiction.
Yes.
But most of the people, not this generation, because every generation had it. They have that energy.
Yes.
And then like, oh, I can go party, or I can go and have a drink, and I can go whatever. But if you put it into something positive, you will eventually come.
Absolutely.
And people have to understand that many things in life is like planting I don't know. I have some fruits here. I'll give you an orange an example. If you plant an orange tree, you have to wait a little bit. It's not gonna come tomorrow. It's not gonna come this year or next year, or it might take a few years. With fitness, it's not going to take you like 10 years to get fit. It'll take you a few months to start seeing
to find that support kind of network a little bit. And I think that's why, like when I go
it's
to
very
the gym,
important.
for example,
it's
like
very
I have
important,
people, because I really like my class, but I think it's also important. Like I see some people, working out with friends, or I see, I know that people work with coaches or personal trainers. It's just whatever keeps people more. Sometimes people do need that push before they truly realize
and I
the
think
potential. There has to be this support network, and I think what you're doing is actually quite great. Offering people that place.
We wrap this up. Want to wrap this up with yes, that's very very important. Like you said, we need someone there in our corner.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, exactly.
That's extremely important. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that's
but that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, you're right, because it's challenging. To do on your own is challenging. I've done it 99% on my own. I had little things like Danny.
Yes.
He trained me 5 times, but like 4 or 5 times. But like even he said, I remember every single thing that he said to me.
But does that mean like he believed in you in a way? Like he invested time, and you felt like you had to show some results?
To show some results. Yeah, I felt like I'll take because I remember at the time he was charging, if I'm not wrong, £80 an hour.
I think you said.
And it wasn't cheap, and for me at the time was a massive amount that I would never afford to pay on a personal trainer. I thought it's crazy, and then I thought, I have to value this hour like £80. I'm not gonna be like the person, the idiot that he's my friend, I'm gonna take it for granted, whatever. He's give me his time and attention. He could have charged me 70, 80, not
Yeah.
60, 50, whatever. Still, 50 pounds for me at the time was a massive amount of money to invest in
Absolutely.
my fitness.
Absolutely.
Now I don't even think twice. If someone will teach me whatever, a new style of fighting, and I have to pay him £100, I'll gladly do it because I know it's my
Yes,
benefit. At the
yes,
time, I
understand.
would rather go for a drink. I would never consider.
Absolutely, yeah.
"Oh, I'll have a-" Anyway, the message I want from you for the people listening is yes, we need that person in our corner. But how do we need to be in general to people around and for ourselves? Because
Yes.
it's easier when you have someone in your corner, but what when you don't?
Yeah, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. We all sort of, how we look after our health, how we look after our teeth, how we look after lots of things in life. Just
Actually, like you said
yeah.
about this is the
that's
I wanted to record this video, this podcast finally, because I finally managed to put my tooth as well. I had this missing tooth here, and I had to do an implant, and that was a massive thing for me. It's you have to invest in yourself in everything, and then you start loving yourself. Yeah, you're right. But let's say you're, I don't know, Jimmy. Jimmy, I hope if you're looking now, your name is Jimmy, and you live in a village, in a village in I don't know, in Wales, and you got 3,000 supporters in your whole village. That can be your supporters or neighbors, or how he can find motivation. How he can find motivation in 3,000 people community, and maybe has a couple of horses in his back garden, and let's say a normal average country person, how he can find that motivation to get better, stronger, faster.
What you want to be, and sometimes people probably around you, they might not even support your decision to begin with. They will think, "Oh, what are you doing? Like, are you crazy?
Are you crazy? Yeah.
I mean, you fit never. I mean, really? You doing press ups ever?" I think sometimes that actually push us harder in certain ways. Like somebody
if you use it in a constructive
way, I feel like you I don't know, just stay true to yourself. Like remembering
underdog
who you
advantage.
are, what you want to achieve.
Underdog advantage. It's a great book if you want to read it. It's 3 different versions, like 3 different writers. But great book. Underdog advantage. Yeah, use that fuel.
Yeah, use that fuel, but also like knowing who you are and what it is that you ultimately want, and what having that sort of, why are you doing what you're doing?
That's massive.
It's you truly do deserve that half an hour, whatever, as you probably get
to
more
invest in yourself.
You do deserve it, and that's probably the best investment you can make into yourself. Sometimes if you don't have this network of people to help, of people like maybe telling you down, but they're trying to talk you down and maybe dissuade you from
there's always gonna have this battles and people that
there are motivational people out there, and they are great examples. Like even for me, for example, sometimes I think like I have to remind myself what it is that I'm doing. Why am I doing? Sometimes I question myself. Is this really what I want?
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone has their doubts. Everyone
has
their
doubts. Yeah, 100%.
Because I was quite a chubby teenager.
That's probably a great book that I read you a few quotes from.
Yeah.
The one that QB2, and then you got me a new version now, Marcus Aurelius. Yeah. And I remember we read together, and even 2,000 years ago, they had the same fears. They had the same fears, and we have to understand that we have to conquer them. Because people always want to talk shit, people always want to put you down, and you'll never see a successful, positive, and
content. This is one of
Yeah.
our favorite
Yeah.
words, I believe.
Yeah.
We like to say the word
Yeah,
content. We are content.
contentment,
That will make fun of someone. That will try to
Yes.
put someone down.
yes.
You'll never find. There's someone
You'll
that's
never find.
liberating.
Exactly. That's a very good quote. Yeah. Somebody who's truly
Mm.
content with themselves, they will probably not feel they need to put
Yeah,
you
they will
down.
never fit to put
So that
you
probably
down.
comes from
Yeah.
a sense of
Like me,
personal
like
struggles,
we'll probably talk
insecurities.
one day about my changes, and I personally, you probably haven't encountered as many people trying to put you down, but I personally remember when I started doing not just social media but start talking about like fitness and nutrition. Me, after being a completely alcoholic, not just a country joy like Jimmy here,
Hi, Jimmy.
but having all this addiction, and then trying to transform and having this battle, all these people behind me telling me, no, you're a shit, no, but I've been alcoholic for 15 years or whatever your life.
Yeah,
But you used to
people
do that.
questioning
You
your
can't. What do you
worthiness.
mean you going to do push-ups? What you going gym? What's wrong with you? What gym? Come on, man, let's have a pint. Like, oh, come on, let's go for a
Yes,
burger.
people
Oh,
will not
come on, let's
always
go for like,
understand,
let's do
yeah.
some whatever.
But I tell you what, they once they see the change in you, they will respect that. Because obviously I
Well,
had that.
you still have someone like
Yeah.
my friend and supporter. I'm not gonna even mention her name anymore. Oh yeah, but I saw you one day with Red Bull and a
Yeah.
burger, and I'm like, yeah, I know, because I had downfalls.
Yeah.
I keep going back into those
Yeah.
habits. But even now, like if now I want to have a cigarette, I have a cigarette. If I want to have a beer, I have a beer. There's certain. I want to have a burger, I have a burger. But it's everything is in my control.
It's in your control.
I don't have it because, but it's not like, oh, I don't want to put certain things in my life to like completely extreme, but I'm quite extreme. But I love to have water. But if I want to have a bottle of whiskey, no one can stop me. I refuse to have it. It's me. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yes, yeah, it's just taking control of your life and pushing through. And if there's people who will probably be telling you, oh, why do you always have to go to the gym? Oh, come on, like, wouldn't you rather sleep in on Saturday morning? They were the first ones who will be saying, oh, wow, you actually, look into you thinking like you look good. And they will, I don't know, like, I think they will come to respect your decision. They might, I don't know, like, I've seen so many people, like, for example, like in your life, people around you, like, making steps towards changing. And, for example, we know somebody who stopped drinking, for this person hasn't drunk for a few weeks, and I was cheering up for him so much, and I really hope that this decision will stick with him, and then, and
I hope you're listening,
yes.
and I can't wait to have a coffee with you. I'm so proud of you.
It's
by the
amazing
way.
because when people have their doubts, it's because probably they might not believe that it's possible. Because maybe somebody put those doubts in their own heads, and they kind of grew their own fears, which they're probably not doing it because they're malicious. They just really are worried about you. They're really worried about your interest. They think, oh, how can poor Jimmy, start lifting, I don't know, crazy heavy weights, for example.
lifting
It's like,
50
Jimmy,
kilograms or
come on, you have
whatever.
enough of your plate. For example, how can Jimmy, give up a pint of lager every...
And you also have a wife, you have 2 kids, you have a truck to drive, you have all these things that you have to do. What do you mean you go in gym as well?
Truly believe, but then once they start seeing transformation and the benefits that are being brought into your life, it will become infectious. It's quite contagious, and they will start rethinking their own position on life, and they will say, oh, if Jimmy, what, Jimmy who? Jimmy? Oh, Jimmy did it.
And I think this
why
will
can't
help
I do it?
many.
It will motivate people.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think this will help many relationships, personal relationships, and also marriage to decrease in breakups. Because why would you give up to someone? Why would you break up with someone that you met that person, you love that person, you connected with that person, you got together with that person, if that person keeps on growing, why would you break up? But if that person goes down, don't take me down with you.
Don't take me down with you.
Because if I would go back into my old habits, you would not want to spend time with me. If I'll come home and smoking of cigarettes or like, you know what I mean? It will not go anywhere. So I believe that many relationships in any form, in any way, these days are many relationships in any form, in any ways, and I believe that some of them denigrate and finishes before it gets to something even nicer and more beautiful because of the many temptations that are there. So hopefully we're gonna learn to control. We're gonna control.
Talk about temptations.
Yeah, next time I would love to talk about temptations. That's probably our next topic. Let's wrap this up here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really enjoyed this. QB, thanks for coming here with us today.
Such a nice
and being co-host and taking care of all the cameras.
I think QB the dog is getting a bit tired now.
Yeah, she's guys. That's about it for today.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please don't forget to drop us a comment or a message or anything, and we're gonna try and cover it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about it. If you have more than one question, then we're gonna make probably a longer video or another video the day after or the week after. We're gonna make a list and we'll be more than happy to talk about it because our life was full of challenges. My life was fucked up as hell, and I learned a lot from it, and I would love to share from my experiences. And thank you so much for doing this first podcast of my life with me. I'm very grateful to have you in my life, not just to have you in my podcast, probably our podcast. Which is absolutely amazing.
QB the main host.
Yeah, so guys, don't forget to share, give us a like, will really help us a lot. And it's not much if you think about it. It's a couple of steps, and we'll be forever grateful. Will be much appreciated. We wish you a fantastic day, and remember, only you can change it.
Have a good day.
Done. I don't even know if it's still recording.
I don't even know. Yeah, imagine like we were talking for like 2 hours. Because I was worried that was maybe a little bit too long.